No, sir. Not again. It's the gruesome, twosome, actually just me today. And we're back with another video. Now, what is this? What am I doing? Why am I reviewing some old movie from 1927? Well, here's the thing. I mentioned in the video, it was called like Let's Be Active. I mentioned that film is my passion. And so I just want to film things. I want to study the craft. I want to do all the good stuff. So, what's the best way to culture myself on movies? Well, I should probably watch some of the best stuff out there, right? And what better source, I say this sarcastically, what better source for the best movies of all time than Rotten Tomatoes? Yeah! Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes. They have a top 100 movie list according to them. So what I want to do is I want to go through that list, watch all these movies, culture myself, review these movies, and give my own list. But as I go, I'll update you on the list. I'll just show you a list at the end and I'll be like, hey, right here. And then you can see what movies I have listed in order. And I'll also put in the description in case you're curious. So the first movie on there is called Metropolis. It's a movie that was made in 1927. And I have notes, but not as many. I'm trying to make these a little shorter, just because it's 100 movie lists and I want to make it more bite-sized for everybody to consume. In a futuristic city sharply divided between the working class and the city planners, the son of the city's mastermind falls in love with a working class prophet who predicts the coming of a savior to mediate their differences. Director Fritz Lang, writers Thea von Harber, also Fritz Lang on the writing cast, and then cast, I'm going to butcher this name, Brigitte Helm, sure, Alfred Abel, and Gustav Frolich. I got that wrong, probably. I think this movie was revolutionary for its time. It's a silent movie, completely silent, and the version I watched didn't have all the scenes in it. I went on Amazon Prime and I just, it was like $3, so I bought it. But you see some revolutionary stuff in this movie. It was a silent movie, it had a score, it was a good score, but I wasn't into it, so I just turned the volume all the way down. It's a silent movie, it's meant to be enjoyed silently. And even the scenes that weren't there, they put text on the screen to explain to you what happens so you understand the next scene, which is very considerate. They really went out of their way for this. And this movie still holds up, surprisingly. It's crazy how a movie made in 1927 can still keep my attention, keep me invested in the story. I think it's, especially because I don't like old-timey stuff. I really don't. I'm not a big fan of it. I like seeing the advances in modern movie technology, and I like seeing who revolutionizes the game. And this movie is revolutionary. I was invested the entire time. Let's go over the good and the bad. And keep in mind, this is taken with a grain of salt because this is for its time. So the VFX, right? It's on my good list. But keep in mind that these are VFX for the time. If it was VFX that you did today, it'd be viewed as horrible, right? But for its time, for them to do what they did is incredible. And it took so much work. I know it. The good, the wide shots, the shots of the city. It was incredible. Some of them were drawings. But they were nice drawings. And some of the shots were miniatures. And they used miniatures so well back then. It was crazy. Cinematography. For something that was made back in the day like that, the variety of shots was actually incredible. It was incredible. There's some POV shots that you got the camera and it's like, oh, I'm looking through his eyeballs. You could see his hand reaching in front of it. That's amazing for its time. What directors were thinking of doing that type of stuff? And we think it's normal. But for back then, for that cinematographer to still be keeping up now, I thought it was great. The set pieces were fantastic. I could tell it was all handcrafted because it had to be. There's no VFX, there's no green screens that you can use. You can't go into Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 5 is amazing. But you can't go into Unreal Engine 5 and then make a set, right? You just can't do that. So they had to make it all by hand. They had these giant factory machines. They had all this stuff. Incredible. This movie really deserves the props because, man, it was so good. Some of the acting. All right, for its time, the acting was probably phenomenal. Let's get out of that. But some of it, I was just like, this is a bit over the top. you know? And I compare it to theater, but theater was bumping, and it's still bumping, but theater was majorly bumping back then because movies were a new concept. You gotta think about this. This movie is 94 years old, I think. Almost a century old. And I like it. I didn't like it at first, let me say. I was gonna give it a bad grade, but then I had to take in consideration everything. And the fact that it still compelled me to watch, to keep watching. I didn't want to stop watching. The time flew by for me. And again, silent movie, I thought, oh, I'm gonna be bored right away. But the writing was so good, the pacing was so good. It's just a high concept idea. Now, let me go into the bad. So, first thing on the list, some of the acting. Again, they're not gonna act like movie stars today, so I get that. But some of it was over the top. Brigitte Helm, or Bridget Helm, her acting was really good when she was doing a certain thing. I guess she kind of played two characters, if you will. So when she was playing one character, I didn't like her acting. Whenever she looks scared and she looks constipated, you know, whatever. It probably works in theater, but not here. But whenever she was playing the devious character, I thought her acting was really good. The face she made was like... I thought her acting was really good there. I was like, now we're talking. This is what I like. And then she get back to her, the other character, and but all her acting, like in that aspect of the performance, was good. But the other acting was not so good. And then the son of, you know, the leader of the city, his acting was not very good. Again, I know for the time I'm taking into consideration, but I also don't really like silent movies. Putting it in bad for me. Just for me, it's a personal thing. It doesn't really affect the grade. I'm just not a big fan of silent movies. There is a plot point in the movie that kind of just went away, right? It just kind of went away. It was more of like a device to get your main character in a situation. I don't think they wrote it originally like that. If they did, why? Basically, the main character goes and he's like, oh, we'll just trade lives. Nobody's gonna notice, you know, not my dad, right? We're just gonna switch clothes. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Because obviously he had to be where that character he's trading lives with is. He had to be there for a certain amount of time so that the plot could move forward. But it seemed just like a plot device. And again, some of the stuff just doesn't hold up well. That's just what you get sometimes. Again, it's an old movie, but oh my gosh, it's a good one. So my grade for this, it's an A. It's an A. Thank you for watching. I'm going to continue this series. We're going to go from the bottom up. So 100, and we're going to get to number 1. All right? Meantime, here's my current list. And it'll be down in the description, all right? I want you to check out the other socials. I want you to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Much love. Let's go!